Doo-doo. This is Nick, new nickname.
How quickly that turns.
So Yzerman gets a pass for not bringing up prospects despite the fact that early round picks advance faster in hockey. That makes no sense. Avila might be worse, but Yzerman is trending to Avila level. You obviously know no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
He's had 2 drafts, and he had a season that was cut. He's had 2 absurd seasons because of COVID, where his better players, like Seider, would have been on the team, but they didn't know when the season was going to. I mean, come on, seriously. You can't actually think
at the stop sign.
You guys think we'll have problems getting players in the future due to the cheating scheme?
No. It's going to come down to dollars.
They need to fire the hitting coach, Mario Mendoza, as soon as possible.
At the next light,
turn
right.
And finally, this is worse than the Randy Smith era. Al needs to go. Who's their hitting coach? Ellen Keller. All right.
We're at that ugly 2002, 2001 area. It's sad because then you're talking the 2 rebuilds.
Back to back. And the hard part is just like you're losing so much interest and viewers because you just can't. Like if they were losing and they were still scoring 6 runs, but the pitching was bad, at least you could turn it on and see some hitting. Right now you don't see anything. And good pitching, yeah, it's fun to watch, but not for 9 innings just to watch them lose.
I mean, I don't want to go there yet, but Tariq Cornejo, Spencer Munson.
At the light, turn right onto Telegraph Road, and make a U-turn.
All right. 248-539-9797. Here's T.O.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day.
At the stop
From the
sign,
Sold by
make a
Leipzig
U-turn.
Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Corey Kluber gives up just 2 hits while striking out 10 over 8 innings yesterday as he would lead the New York Yankees to a 2-0 win over the Tigers. A victory that gives the Yankees a sweep of that 3-game weekend series over the Tigers. Good outing in that loss for starter Jose Urena. He would strike out 7 while giving up just 2 runs in 7 innings. A performance that would earn the praise afterwards of manager A.J. Hinch.
Jose was incredible, and he still had a lot left. If it hadn't been for the off day and Soto hadn't pitched in 4 days, I mean, he could have easily gone out there and continued to throw. He was as locked in at the end as he was at the beginning.
Pistons will look to end a 2-game losing skid this evening as they battle the Orlando Magic at Little Caesars Arena. Our coverage starts at 6:35. Red Wings would drop their final home game of the 2021 NHL season as they lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1. Jonathan Bernier solid in that loss for the Wings as he made saves on 40 of the 42 shots he would face yesterday. This will be an important day for some in the NFL as team officials will need to decide by 4 p.m. this afternoon if they'll pick up the 5th-year options on players that were drafted back in 2018. So far, 2 players won't have those options picked up. The Dallas Cowboys have declined the 5th-year option on linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. Tennessee Titans have declined their 5th-year option on linebacker Rashawn Evans. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Thank you, T.O. Get back to the NFL draft in a minute, but the folks not fired up about those Tigers. I wish the Tigers were as fired up as you guys are. Steve and Mount Clemens, good morning.
Good morning, Stoney. Good morning, John. I guess in a way I'm kind of took my own horn, but I wanted to touch on the whole baseball thing. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, I was drafted not once but twice. I got drafted, I know. I got drafted by Montreal right out of high school, the 8th round, and then I got drafted again by Detroit 2 years later. And what I want to touch on was the money has changed drafting. My signing bonus in the 8th round was $1,500. Today, it's $1.5 million. And organizations, especially the Tigers, they're trying to justify the signing bonus. And they're moving guys along. When I was in A-ball in 1980, I led the team with 135 hits and 80 RBIs. I jumped to the league. Don Manually led the league at 354. The next year, I went back to A-ball. These guys are 3-tool players. Forget about a 4-tool, 5-tool. They're 3-tool players. They took to call that Jacoby Jones has no business being in the big leagues. He's the best of bad lot.
Yeah, right.
You know, and we talk about Avila. Yeah, you know, we got swindled on the Verlander thing and the talent, but the talent is so poor, and they're trying to justify it. You got guys getting drafted in the 10th, 11th, 12th rounds. You're getting $1.5 million. You got to justify it. So they move them along far more than they're ready to. Guys make the jump from Double-A to the big leagues. Whitaker did it, Trammell did it, Parrish did it, with Montreal, Raines did it, Dawson did it. They all do it at Double-A. Triple-A guys are organizational players. That's all they are. And I look at this Riley Green, he's back in A-ball again. If he don't hit 20 bombs and drive an 80 in A-ball, you can forget about it.
No, I thought he was starting Double-A, no?
I think he's back in A-ball.
No, he's starting in Erie.
Yeah. So, Steve,
So
let me ask you a question.
The money is so, Don Mattingly was the best driver. He had 354 in A-ball, and he was an outfielder. And I remember Ken Berry, who was a hitting instructor for the Yankees that year, he told me he'll never make it. He couldn't run, he couldn't field, he couldn't throw. So what did they do? They made him a first baseman. He didn't do either one of those three things, but he could hit.
Steve, from your experience, how long should it take for Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson before they're brought up?
Well, Spencer, listen, John, the biggest problem is number one, they're not used to the 135-game schedule like in college. 135 games you're playing every day, and they're not used to it. Number two, the biggest adjustment is wood bats. It's the biggest adjustment is a wood bat. Guys are hitting aluminum bats all through high school, all through college, and then they get to the minors and they're going to make the adjustment to wood bat and the travel. But having said that, Torkelson, he's supposed to be in Double-A, by the end of the year, and then they got to see what he can do. Riley Green, he's 20 years old, 21 years old maybe. He had rookie ball and 2 stints in A-ball last year. He's back in A-ball again this year.
Well, he's in Double-A. They didn't have minor leagues last year, don't forget. That's it. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the call and the knowledge. James, what's up?
Well, my knowledge is that the team does not on the field. I have no problem with what you said, because, they can be united and die out.
Yes.
I have no problem with the Red Wings because, you know what? They beat Tampa about 3 times. They beat Carolina 3 times. They compete with the better clubs. Yes, they don't have the talent, but they have the heart. This team has, I'm sorry, they have no heart. They go out there, they swing at pitches in the dirt, they give away bad at bats. They don't compete, and that's why I think Alameda should go, period, because they don't compete. If they go out there and compete, give good at bats, take how many walks do they have? They're dead last in walk speed, right?
I don't know.
They don't compete.
I know they're first in strikeouts.
Exactly. First in strikeouts and last in walks. What does that tell you? They don't know when a pitch is coming. They're guessing. They don't compete.
You guys, we're not overdoing it here. They're 2-15 in their last 17. How many times have been shut out in that time period?
Exactly.
Six.
But the only good thing about the team,
In 1 mile,
if you're
take
on
a
my
slight right turn onto F102 East.
Although when they do win some games, it fails.
I don't ever bet with them, so I don't care about the payout. I bet against them.
Oh, I understand that, but your odds, when they do win a game, your odds are there's more money, right?
No, because I use them as a parlay.
Okay.
Because, you take a 3-team parlay, you throw the Tigers in there, and you pretty much don't have to worry about that end of that parlay. You lose one out of every five. Oh, well, you lose.
All right. That's enough gambling, guys. All right.
Onzarike.
Daniel Jeremiah had him like he was top 25.
Yes.
So they weren't reaching it much.
A lot of times when you look at the grades, and I think Mel Kiper does this probably more than anybody, he looks at where the athlete that was taken and where he had them ranked, and not necessarily the fit of the team or what they have going on. And you look at the Lions draft, and if you just look as an organization, obviously they are addressing the two front lines, offensive and defensive lines, with Sewell, Onzarike, and McNeil. And then you look and you say, okay, well, they added a corner who I think, and we talked about this earlier, you think as well, that's kind of the most interesting draft pick, and it's Ifeatu Mel-Efonu. I knew I was going to mess up. Ifeatu Mel-Efonu from Syracuse. And I like him because, and I like the prospect of him because he's 6'2". Some even say he's 6'3", a little over 200 pounds. He's got great athletic ability. Could be that diamond in the rough, and he's going to come into a situation where he's going to get a lot of reps his rookie season. You're going to see a lot of reps from Onzarike. You're going to see it from McNeil, but those two guys are playing two completely different positions, and the fit that they have. And we talked about this with Dave Burkett, and I know we're going to get a chance to hear about him again at 9:35, but Onzarike is going to be put in there with Michael Brockers, who is a consummate professional. And they talk about just his leadership in the locker room. You put two young defensive linemen in that room with him, now all of a sudden they have a huge advantage. You put Penei Sewell in an offensive line room first with a coach that is going to be very good at developing him, but even more importantly, Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker, guys that have had success, that have been through the NFL through a number of seasons. They're going to help him, and this is what you have to do to prepare for your rookie season. This is what you have to do throughout the season to prepare for these different individuals that you're going to face throughout the course of your rookie year.
And just barring Sewell bombing, Onzarike is going to be the first thing that people are going to judge Holmes on.
Yes.
And a lot of that has to do with the Stoney Donovan Mitchell app because of the names, the recognizable names that went after him: Morig, Asante Samuel Jr., Rondale Moore, Owusu Koromora. All guys people wanted potentially Lions. Terrace Marshall. All these names, man, and if Onzarike is not good and he continues to fit the bill of the past Lions second-round draft picks forever, because that's where you win.
Yeah.
You start panning out on these picks. That's going to be the thing people are really going to jump on him first.
He can't be Jordan Dizon. He can't be Alama Francis. He's got to be really good. I mean, when was the last second-round pick that was really good? Sean Rogers? I'm just going off the top.
Titus Young until he went crazy.
Yeah, Titus Young.
He helped contribute to that team that made the playoffs.
Yes, he did. I'm sure there's others on it. Dominic Raiola was a good second-round pick. I mean,
LaShore.
Sure.
You go all the way back to Jared